welcome to another amazing episode of Character Unlock. I don't know what we're going to talk about today, because nothing's happened. Literally nothing has happened. So instead we're just going to talk probably just a little bit more about what we've been playing, because that's all we can talk about. I'm hosting this week. I'm Andrew Brookman. Joining me is my partner in crime, my good buddy John Miller. You alright, mate?
How do?
How are ya?
Yeah, pretty good. Yourself?
Yeah, it's a bit later in the week than we usually record. It's Wednesday instead of Tuesday. I was kind of hoping that would mean, something would happen Tuesday night or Wednesday morning so that we'd have something to talk about, but apparently not.
Well, the last couple of times we've recorded on a Tuesday and then something's happened between us recording and the episode going live, usually on the Wednesday, that's really fucked us over. And then this time, nah.
Guarantee you something happens tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
No, absolutely. Or right now.
Oh, right now, yeah. Well, literally while we're recording something, well, at least if it happens while we're recording, we can say, oh yeah, look, breaking news-ish, kind of.
Breaking news, if you're listening to this live, which you can't.
Yeah. So,
or can you?
Yeah, maybe they can. You never know who's listening, mate. Big Brother and all that.
Yeah.
But now you've made me paranoid and I'm going to open up Eurogamer while we talk. Just in case something happens. My laptop doesn't have a refresh button.
Yay.
I don't know what to do about this. Okay. Let's not worry about that. How have I never noticed that my laptop doesn't have a refresh button?
I don't know. There's got to be some kind of keyboard shortcut in there somewhere. I don't know. You fucking bought the thing.
I know. And until this point, I haven't regretted it once.
Fucking spanner.
Oh, dear fucking lord. Let's maybe not worry about my Mac and what it can and can't do. Let's talk
you
about
spend that
games.
kind of money on a goddamn computer and you
doesn't
don't
even have a fucking F5 key. Shit. Anyways, games.
Yay games.
Yay games.
The thing we're kind of here to do.
Yeah, the thing we're kind of here to talk about. So there's no news, nothing's happened. So we'll dive straight into what we've been playing. So I think we've both been playing a fair amount the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, a fair amount of roughly the same stuff.
Yeah, well, for the first time in fucking ages, you and me
actually played a game together. 2
games together, mate. We've done it twice in 2 separate nights as well.
Yeah.
Which
2 different games as well.
Kind of ish.
Almost. Yes. They are different.
Ish.
They have different names, just by one character.
I don't know which one you want to start with. I'll tell you what, mate. You go first. You start with whatever you want to start with.
Let's start with the Destiny 2 beta.
Yeah.
I mean, because we ended the show last time out with the Destiny 2 beta being a thing to play when the episode went live on the Sunday, which was it the Sunday? It was the
Sunday
weekend.
morning. The episode went live Sunday morning.
Right at the end of the actual, the beta that I recommended everyone go play.
But to be fair, I think Bungie may have realised that we were late and they extended it by a couple of days. It was definitely for us. There's no other reason for it. It was definitely for us.
And if you were listening to it on Sunday and you went, oh yeah, I better play that, you actually got access to the farm, which was the new social space, which was available on Sunday for a couple of hours. Or just 1 hour. It was like 8 until 9 or something.
What was the farm? Because I don't think I got onto that.
No, neither did I actually.
No, fair enough.
Because I didn't realise until, because I saw the tweet for it going live, and it said the farm will go live for 1 hour in like 1 hour's time. And it was like 3 hours ago. I was like, oh, shit.
That's one of the few times where that, in case you missed it, section of Twitter really ground on your nerves.
Every time I've looked at my fucking phone at Twitter and I've seen that in case you missed it. And it's always been something that it's like I've been scrolling through my feed and then I've seen a tweet from you normally. And then it comes up with, in case you missed it, the same tweet that I scrolled past and read.
Excellent. It knows I'm important, you see.
You can't even get rid of it anymore. It used to be you could press hide or dismiss or something that says I don't want this,
It
and now
never
you
fucking
can't.
worked anyway, because you'd press the cross and go, do you want to see this anymore? You'd go, no. And the next time you opened up your phone, it was fucking there anyway.
Wow, I just realized I just scrolled through and I have an in case you missed it, and then 4 tweets, and then in case you missed it again from when I shut my phone down.
Excellent.
And in it are those 4 fucking tweets.
Yay, Twitter. Well done.
Well done, Twitter. Sort your shit out.
It's not like it's our primary way of communicating with our 3 listeners or anything.
So,
So yes, the Destiny 2 beta.
yeah, the Destiny 2 beta was interesting for me, to say the least. I'm a huge fan of Destiny, and it's certainly been improved by the fact that I've played it recently, and the main one. But playing the beta, I really enjoyed the beta. Even as a single player, the single player mission you get was a fair amount of fun. Walking through the crowd of various enemies, seeing how badass the Vanguard are. Just casually walking through and having Nathan Fillion just like fire off a golden gun burst, and Gina Torres annihilate a giant ship.
That was the prologue thing at the beginning of the beta, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great. And then actually moving on, and the multiplayer bit, so the part where me and you actually had a chance to play together, and we did that strike mission a couple of times.
Yeah.
And our buddy Lee joined us for one of them, and we actually failed miserably at doing that one for some reason, despite when we had a random dude who kept falling at every fucking platforming section.
He died at every gap.
Every time there was a platforming section, which if you played the strike, there's a fair few platforming sections.
That dude definitely wears a fucking harness when he goes on the tube. There's no two ways about it, because in real life, if he was like that, he'd be dead.
He would have fallen off the street somewhere and just like there'd have been like a pothole or something. There's only like a meter, an inch deep, or maybe a meter wide. He would have fallen into it and wouldn't have been able to get out.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was next to useless, that dude.
He is the reason to why there are those adverts for the National Accident Helpline.
Yeah.
So if you've fallen over in public.
Yeah.
He is the reason for that.
I tripped over a ladder, I was stupid enough to walk under.
Yeah.
Ah, fucking hell. Yeah, but the strike was actually a lot of fun, I have to admit, because obviously I've said a lot of times on this podcast, I really don't like Destiny, and I don't get it. But yeah, playing the strike was a lot of fun.
Playing with friends probably helped a lot, and the most.
I think this is because moving on then to Destiny 1, which we spent 4 or 5 hours on.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Just going through the early missions of the game, because obviously I can't go any further than that. A, I don't have any of the DLC, and B, I was like a level not a lot.
I think you are a level 9, or at least you made it to level 9 while I was playing with you.
I'm currently a level 11.
Ah, so you've moved on a little bit.
Yeah, I dicked about doing patrols and things just to see what it was like playing on my own. Because again, this was the thing, because I really enjoyed playing it when we were playing together at the weekend, and it was a lot of fun. And I wanted to be able to go, come on the podcast and say, actually, no, I really like Destiny, but I think the thing is, actually, no, I really like playing online and chatting bollocks with my mates while I'm doing it.
Yeah. But you say that so openly here. I will admit, Destiny is not a fun game to play on your own.
This was the thing, and this is why I wanted to have a go. Like I did, I just, the patrols are you run around the opening area. I'm sick to the back teeth of seeing that opening area as well. That I really don't like it. It annoys me now. But I ran around the opening area just doing a couple of the little patrol things, and I think I was trying to open up extra missions or something, because one of the missions I got from some dude at the tower was go do one of each of the patrol types, so I was off trying to do that. And yeah, it wasn't fun, like, at all. Like, I was bored, and I played it, I think, for an hour on my Todd, and no, just it's not the same.
It's not entertaining in the slightest unless you've got people that you want to play with and talk to.
And I think this is where Destiny 2's beta kind of is make or break. I don't think it's going to get anybody that didn't enjoy Destiny to go out and buy Destiny 2.
Yeah.
You know, I won't be buying Destiny 2, not because I didn't enjoy playing it with you, because I loved it, but we're back to the same problem. I can't necessarily play at the same time as you, so two things happen. One, I either play on my Todd, which is boring as shit, and two, I start playing with you after you've been playing for 3 days, max leveled, and I'm still a diddly little level 3 going, I need a gun. I need a gun that works.
Well, I love the fact that with Destiny you can have multiple characters at the same time. And right now I have a character sitting there pretty on Destiny 1 at level 10 waiting for you to turn your Xbox on and play at the same time as me. So that way I've got a character. And
Yeah.
that character is nowhere near the same place that you are in the story, because I missed the first mission and we did, maybe 8 or 9?
Yeah.
So now I need to go through 8 or 9 missions just because I missed that first one with you, and therefore all of the progress that I've got on the other missions that I've done with you don't count.
Okay.
So despite the fact they show up on my map as complete, I haven't completed the quest for them because I didn't do the first stage of the quest first.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I don't get any of those rewards, so I'm pretty much stuck in a position where there's now my character just doesn't get quest experience.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really make a difference. Yes, it's not unlocked sections of the map that you can only unlock after doing those quests, as proven when you discovered that you couldn't unlock the strike until you spoke to the right person.
That was just hilarious. Like, after we sat there banging our heads against the wall for half an hour trying to figure out why certain missions in this strike aren't open to me, the next day I just booted it up and went and talked to somebody and suddenly it was. Idiot. Why didn't I try that Saturday night? Fucking muppet.
But again, it's partly my fault because I should have realised that you must need to speak to the right people. But it's been that long since I played that part, and for me, I don't think you needed to speak to people, or rather, it highlighted people properly when you needed to speak to them.
Yeah.
You didn't get the quest log back then. You didn't have individual things and how to do things. You literally just had. You would just go in there and it would unlock those missions because it would be, oh yeah, you've completed this mission. Talk to. So you'd go back. It would then take you to the tower because it would have an icon on the tower, and then it would have an icon over a person to go talk to them.
Yeah. But that's the other one, of course. It kind of hit me maybe Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday where I was thinking about it. Basically, I was kind of walking around jotting notes for when we record. I was like, the great thing about this game is, you know, it does feel much different to when I first played it when it came out.
Yeah.
So the hilarious bit about that is, you know, 2 years and 140 quid's worth of game and DLC later, and Bungie finally have a good game.
And now they're releasing a second one.
I was going to say, God help all of you Destiny 2 buyers. I really hope you don't have to go through that same bullshit for the sequel.
Well, Vanilla Destiny was fucking awful. I'll admit it. If it wasn't for the social aspect and the fact that it was a game that I could play with our buddy Lee, just on a daily basis, and build your character up, and then eventually get good enough and, you know, a team together and do the raid, then I probably would have dropped it because it was not exactly entertaining after completing the story and just spending ages just wandering around patrol because there wasn't a lot to do back then.
No.
And then the Dark Below came along, the first expansion in year 1, and it was just a couple more missions, a strike, and another raid. And a raid that could have been completed almost entirely solo, based on the fact that there were that many cheese options. So all you had to do the first mission was run to a certain point, jump on a rock, jump up onto the next level of the area, and all the enemies don't spawn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you've just skipped checkpoints, and because you skip checkpoints, those enemies then between those checkpoints don't spawn. And then from that, because the enemies between there and your next zone don't spawn, the rest of the enemies don't spawn because they only spawn per checkpoint.
Yeah.
So it's another side of it, is that if you were to run through it as a blade dancer and you have the invisibility options, you can run between each checkpoint, turn invisible. Once you get to the end, it despawns all of those enemies, and then the rest of the raid crew can just run through.
Oh wow.
That's
Bloody hell.
actually still a viable option now, even on
Jesus.
the latest 390 version, because I did it with a buddy, just like randomly last week. I was like, I wonder if it still works that I can do this.
Yeah.
Stuck my blade dancer on, stuck the exotic arm gauntlets that has on melee damage you turn invisible.
Okay.
I had the upgrades to my blade dancer hunter to have use my super, turns invisible, press the right trigger while unsupercharged, while using my super to turn invisible, crouch for 3 seconds, turn invisible, stab an enemy, turn invisible.
Yeah.
So and then one of the passive upgrades, which was invisibility effects, last longer, so it's pretty much double the time.
Yeah.
So literally every possible eventuality that you could think of, I could be invisible for.
Wow.
So I was just walking. I just walked slowly, casually, strolled my way to the end of the area. So got to the end of the area, hit the button to start the door opening. So all the enemies now just start swarming me, and they're despawned from everywhere else. So my buddy, who then just casually strolled along all the way through, without a care in the world, while I was just waiting around, continuously just turning invisible as I tried to keep away from all the enemies. And as soon as the door had finished fully opening and the bridge had spawned completely, because it was like a slowly building drawbridge type thing
Yeah.
in the Crota raid, and as soon as it hit that, I got hit from behind by one. It turned me invisible, and then 3 more hit me, and that killed me.
Oh wow.
Because it was just like a big wave of them all hit me at once. So it wasn't like normally when one hits you, they all then just stop attacking because they don't know where you are. But it was because they'd all started their hit animation before I turned invisible. They all then hit me anyway, so it killed me. But because of that, and in the raid situation that it was, I couldn't be revived.
Yeah.
I had to just wait for the area to be completed. But he just had casually strolled through, and because he was a Sun Singer with revive option as his super, he then just stood on a rock, pulled out a sniper rifle, and just shot everything and killed it all. And then just casually strolled across the bridge, completely fine.
Wow.
Completed the area, and we got some
Jesus.
rewards out of it.
Nice.
So yeah, even to this day, a pretty decent rewards as well. Because at 390 Lite version of it,
Yeah.
I'd only just got 390 myself. So some of my upgrades, so I just managed to instantly upgrade a load of my armor and weapons just off basically doing no work.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's still a huge section of Destiny that was a massive disappointment, followed by another big disappointment in the second DLC, which was the House of Wolves, which was a really long story.
Okay.
Not even a really long story. It was just like maybe 8 more missions that gave you continuous fallen enemies, and a story that doesn't really have any depth whatsoever because it's all based on the Grimoire stuff. That you need to really that's the biggest issue Destiny had, was that if you wanted to look into any of the information that you were told, because you were only half given information half the time for a lot of the missions.
Yeah.
You do a mission, someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, this is something," and then you go, "Okay, cool. Why?" "Oh, I can't tell you that." "All right." And then you go looking, and then you go read the Grimoire, which takes fucking ages to find, because you have to unlock it to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there are places out there that allow you to read it just because they've got it all up anyway. Like there's a Destiny database of all the Grimoires, so if you get bored, you could just read all of those. Don't think anyone would ever get that bored.
No. No, it was another one of them things. I looked at it and went, yeah, I'm not doing that.
But
I'm just not doing that.
it was the Taken King which then introduced light levels being a major point. So everyone would hit level 30 for House of Wolves. Now the new level cap was level 40, and they decided to, because they'd introduced the new classes, they thought, oh, let's give XP a go again for a little bit, just so that people can get their classes up. And then they introduced light level properly, and I think max light was something like 200 and something. It might have even been 300.
Yeah.
So people were then doing light level, and you were doing the raid at the end of it to kill Oryx. But because light level became a thing, and in order to improve your light level, you either had to find better weapons
Yeah.
or better armor, which you stopped finding better versions of unless you did the raids.
Yeah.
And then later it became infusion. So you could find, oh, I like this piece of armor because it looks nice, and I don't want to look like everyone else, because if you did the raid and got the raid armor, everyone looked like they were wearing the raid armor. So introducing infusion, you could then infuse the decent light level armor into your current armor, so you could make your decent looking nice armor that you quite like the look of to then be more powerful.
Yeah.
But there was an odd algorithm where it basically, whatever you were infusing into it, it would split the difference. So you had a piece of 250 light armor that you wanted to infuse with a 300 piece armor, it would then move you into like a 278 rather than a 300.
Okay.
So naturally, that pissed off a lot of people, because you'd spend ages trying to go, well, I want this 300 armor infused into this 275, so I need to infuse a 280 first, and then a 290, and then the 300, and I'll maybe get 299.
Yeah.
Or you infuse the 300 straight into it, and you end up with like a 285 or whatever. Big waste of time, big waste of calculations. And there was actually websites that popped up dedicated to, this is what you've got,
Yeah.
this is what you've got to infuse into it, what's the best, what do I need to infuse into it first in order to get the best out of it.
Yeah.
And then around Christmas or January-ish time, since The Taken King was released, so quite not that long after, but long enough to really piss off enough the community, including myself, they changed infusion so that what it was you were using to infuse into went to the full light level of what it was you were infusing from.
Yeah.
So now 300 stuff goes and is infused, and stays at 300.
Okay.
So all is good and all is well with the world of Destiny. And all it took was 2.5 years.
Yeah. And that, I mean, yeah. Says pretty much everything you need to say. But actually, you know what? No, I'm going to say one last thing, and this is something that really bugs me. And it's not just Destiny that does it, but wow, it was so prominent in Destiny. Can we just stick to 1 or 2 or 9 currency types?
Not 50.
In our games, please? Because not only are there a million different currency types in this game, but there's a load of, like, when you kill or what do you do to your weapons when you get rid of them?
Dismantle.
Thank you. When you dismantle your weapons, you get, like armor stuff and weapon material, and I don't know what I do with any of it. I don't know where any of it is. And for a game that's got so many currencies, it takes great delight in explaining fuck all. I had no idea what any of it was.
So this is where you are coming in at a decent top point, because you've got all of the current currencies. So you've got Glimmer, which you can have 25,000 of, which is the base. Oh yeah, this is what you use to buy stuff when you're at a shit level.
Yep.
And then you get legendary marks, which before you could, which is now a 200 cap, and you can earn 200. As that's just a cap of 200. Once you hit 200, you can't get any more. So, but before you used to get Vanguard marks and Crucible marks, which you could only get. I think you could only have 150 of each, and you could only earn like 60 in a week.
Okay.
So you'd get the Vanguard marks for completing challenges and stuff in the story, and Crucible marks for doing stuff in the Crucible. And each of those currencies were available to be purchased, to use to purchase goods. So you'd use the Vanguard marks to buy stuff from the Vanguard, and Crucible to buy stuff from the Crucible guys.
Yeah.
And it's fairly sensible. Problem is that there was decent rolls of guns and armor with the Crucible, and people wouldn't buy it because they didn't play the Crucible.
Yeah.
Like myself, I'm not a big multiplayer gamer. I don't like playing shooters online, really.
No.
I played for the story, and I played to play with my friends. I didn't care enough to play against other people. Didn't really enjoy competitive stuff.
Yeah.
So I never earned the Crucible marks to ever buy stuff from the Crucible guys.
Yeah.
which meant I missed out on a lot of guns and armor.
Yeah.
So then when they moved to legendary marks, that changed it completely, and that's great. Weapon parts, again, that's more of a thing now because you use weapon parts when you infuse guns.
Yeah.
Armor materials, however, used to be 3 separate things.
Yeah.
One for the Hunter, one for the Titan, and one for the Warlock.
Okay.
You dismantle a piece of armor of the Hunter and you got something. I can't remember what it was. It was like coils. Some kind of coil. You got ones for the Titan, which were like armor plating,
Yeah.
and ones for the Warlock, which were... It's been a long time since I played with the Warlock, something completely else.
Okay.
But because you had 3 separate ones, if you were upgrading the armor for those, then you'd have to use that one for that one.
Yeah.
Now it's all armor materials for upgrades.
Okay.
So when you go through and you level up, you'll find this when you get to higher levels and you get better armor with upgrades.
Yeah.
Or rather, when you get to the max level and you actually consider upgrading your armor instead of just going, oh, this one's nice, but I'm gonna get another one in like 3 minutes time when I kill this enemy over here,
Yeah.
and I get a randomly better piece of armor.
Fair enough.
So there's that. Then you move on to the world currency. So on Earth, there's Spirit Bloom. Spin Metal on Earth. On the Moon, it's Helium Filaments. On Venus, it's Spirit Bloom, and on Mars, it's Relic Iron, and on Saturn, it's Wormspore.
But do you not hear how ludicrous all of that sounds?
I'm still not done.
This is what I mean. It's absolutely insane. I don't need it. It's too complicated. I don't get how a community can revolve around all of this shit. I feel like I need a spreadsheet next to me to play the game.
It all sits in my vault. Literally all of it sits in my vault because I have no use for it at all, apart from when I go, oh, I've got this gun now that's kind of one I want to keep. So a legendary fusion rifle that has armor piercing rounds, which absolutely sublime for a strike playlist that has specialist damage or the void or solar or arc bonus damage.
Yeah.
Which means that the fusion rifle then with armor piercing rounds, one fire can kill a good portion of enemies.
Fair enough.
Because it's just like instant kill, and then the rounds just go through and kill anything behind them.
Fair enough.
But when you're upgrading stuff, then yeah, you look through and you say, oh, I need 5, 10, 15, 25, for instance, spin metal. Well, it's in my vault, so bust out one of the apps and of the stuff that you can transfer stuff around, and just go to the vault and go transfer 25 of this to this character, ping 25 across, do your upgrade. Can be done on an app like that, and you can select amounts.
Yeah.
If you go to the vault directly yourself on the tower, and you go, I want spin metal, it will give you all of it.
Why?
At a cap of 200. Once you've got 200, it then moves on to another one where you can cap at 200.
Oh, for God's sake.
Currently, I've got like 800 of each of those world things because I pick it up because my ghost has, for some reason, I've got a ghost that has, if I pick up an engram on Earth, it gives me extra spin metal.
Okay.
When you dismantle certain things, you get given stuff back. You complete fucking patrol missions, you get given spin metal. You don't even have to go find it anymore. I can't remember the last time I actually went out and looking to try and pick up stuff. I just get given it all the fucking time. I don't even want it anymore. I've got that much of it.
It's exhausting, mate. Like I say, it was great fun playing it, but just it's so exhausting.
The number of trialed and failed currencies that have come in and disappeared, that it's just unreal. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's all kinds of crap that have appeared.
And I can buy silver from the store as well.
But it's not even useful because all that silver will do is give you an option of buying one of 3 boxes.
Yeah.
Because it used to be you'd buy silver, and then with the silver you could buy emotes. So it was completely useless, completely pointless, didn't need to be purchased, because it would give you an emote that you could then choose to do. Yeah. Like right now, my hunter will do the Thriller dance.
Excellent.
because I paid for that because I saw it and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Thriller Dance. 2 weeks later, they then updated it and they added Apache Dance from, well, that everyone knows.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I wish I'd bought that instead.
Yep. Like I say,
But that,
great fun to play with your mates, but dude.
but if you're joining at this point in time, don't pay that much attention into it because it'll just fuck you off.
Well, this is the thing, though. I don't. Obviously, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm not a stupid person. I shouldn't be that confused trying to get my head around a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. And I know it's going to fuck off Destiny fans, me saying that, because it's an MMO and it's got a story and a lore, and no. It's a first-person shooter, and I shouldn't get a headache trying to figure out what I'm doing with the currency. I just shouldn't. And it certainly shouldn't have fucking microtransactions. Just
No. The addition of microtransactions really pissed off a chunk of the community, and then loads of people spent a lot of money on it, and it's just.
But this is the thing. This is where microtransactions. It's why they're still here. Because
they're never going away because people will constantly throw money at games because they think, oh yeah, it's only like £2.50 and I can buy this. It's like, you just spent £2.50 on a dance move that you're only going to use maybe 4 times total when you press the button by accident.
Yep. So, which actually works to a nice segue to one of the games I've been playing.
Okay, what are we playing?
Lawbreakers, or more accurately, the Lawbreakers beta.
Right.
Okay. Do you know much about Lawbreakers?
Until you started playing it and asked if I still had my PlayStation to play it.
Fair enough.
Never heard of it.
Okay, so Lawbreakers is a first-person shooter, an online-only first-person shooter, in the spirit, or made by, let me get this right, Boss Key Productions.
Okay.
I say let me get this right because this leads into another conversation, but I get confused between one company and the other. Now, Boss Key is Cliff Bleszinski's production company.
Got it.
So obviously the guy that created Gears of War and co-created what was the one I played recently?
Rage?
No. Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm.
So yes, I mean Cliffy B's a pretty well-known guy, and everybody knows who he is, and he's made this Lawbreakers. I heard about it. I want to say a year ago, but it feels like it was probably longer. And it was an online-only first-person shooter that was going to be free to play. Now, I don't have an awful lot of time for many free-to-play games because they tend to be pay-to-win model.
Yep.
But what Lawbreakers is now is not pay-to-win because it's not free-to-play anymore. It's now going to be a full-price £40 game. Now,
right.
The biggest problem I have with this is the fact that the game is a shitload of fun, but it took me 5 minutes to go, this is just Overwatch. Because that's all it is. It's Overwatch. It's 4 game modes, which doesn't matter which way you cut it, basically are capture the flag and point capping and various plays on those kind of game modes. There's nothing new about it. The one thing that makes it different from everything else is it's got a 0G mechanic. So you jump and float around, which makes it a little bit interesting.
Makes it sounds kind of cool.
It was a really cool game to play. And the thing is, I had loads of fun playing it. I rolled through all, I think there's 8 character classes, ranging from up close melee guys to guys with nothing but rocket launchers and assault, a guy that's and the enforcer he was, the dude with just an assault rifle. There's a few, there's a guy with just a shotgun that's really good for when you're you have to grab things and then take them back to your base, and you have to protect them while they're in your base and stop the enemy from stealing it. And the guy with the shotgun was quite good for that. So I rolled through all of these character classes, and it was loads of fun. And I definitely would have committed time to it if it had been free to play. Definitely. But there's no two ways about it. The day it came out, I'd have installed it, and it probably would have been quite a regular go-to game. I had shitloads of fun. PC and PS4 only, I believe, which is a pain in the ass when Xbox is my primary machine. But the biggest thing that really bugged me, outside of it suddenly being a game that they expect me to pay £40 for, even though I've already bought Overwatch, is much like Overwatch, it has microtransactions. It has things that I can buy. Now, much like Overwatch, and this is, I fear I'm going to say that those words a lot, much like Overwatch, this doesn't have like a Battlefield or Call of Duty style progression system. You don't get better weapons the more you level up. You don't get better armor. You don't get new sights. You don't unlock anything. You have the same skill level. You have the same weaponry, no matter what your level is, and that's great for things. Much like Overwatch, it's great because it means you can jump in. I've got a mate who plays Overwatch now. He didn't buy it until the anniversary edition came out, so the game was a year old. It took him 2 days to get into it, and that was just while he learnt the ropes. Because there's none of this Battlefield bullshit where you jump in a year after it's come out, and every motherfucker is a high level bastard who can destroy you from across the map, or you've basically got a cap gun. There's none of that, and it works really well. In Overwatch it's great. It will be great in Lawbreakers. But what it means is microtransactions are 100% for cosmetic things. So, the colour of your armour, or camouflage on your gun, or whatever they want. Because I've not bought any. I'm fucked if I'm buying any for a beta. I'm fucked if I'm buying any at all. But I don't have much time for games that look like they're doing the community a favour by being, having free DLC all the time, like Overwatch does. Or, we want you to buy this game now so we can support the game. Awesome. Nice work, Boss Key. If I hadn't have seen microtransactions in your store, I wouldn't have thought twice about buying it. But now you want me to buy your online only, what should be free to play game, and also buy cosmetic bullshit. It really wound me up. I really don't like that shit. And it moves on to another kind of semi-rant I want to have. And as I think about this, it's possible that someone's description may not have been updated. But was it Saturday you and I were playing?
Yes.
Yeah. So Saturday night, you and me are on Xbox Live, and we're just kind of gas-bagging, trying to decide what we're going to play. Obviously, we were destined to play Destiny.
Yep.
But while we were just kind of gas-bagging, we were talking a bit about Lawbreakers, and I think we got into the conversation about Fortnite, so I ended up on the store, and I was going through the store. On the Xbox Live store, and I haven't checked the PlayStation store, mainly because when I went onto it today to have a look, the first thing that happened was a trailer for Fortnite started playing long before any info for it came up on the screen. That's another fucking annoyance of mine, because that happened while we were talking on Saturday. I don't want auto-playing ads. I don't care if it's on my Xbox, my PlayStation, or my fucking Google Chrome. Your video should never ever be auto-playing. Never. But that's slightly different. The thing that got really wound me up, and this is why I got confused between Boss Key and the other one, because Fortnite is made by Epic Games. Obviously, Epic Games is where Cliffy B got his start. Now, Fortnite is something that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It looks kind of cool. It looks fun. I remember a couple of E3s ago when they showed it off, and I was like, I can't wait to play that. And I was a bit gutted when they said it was going to be on PC only. I was like, don't really have a PC I can play on. What
don't really want to buy a PC to play it on.
Well, I mean, if I had the space, I would probably consider it, but...
And the cash.
Well, yeah. The thing is, you could... No, it's really shitty to say you can always find the cash. You can't, but I would find the cash to build myself a proper gaming rig if I had the room. But I have a very small house and a wife and a child and a dog and, stuff. I don't have room for a gaming computer, so I was a bit gutted.
Sticky fingers to go in the vent.
Yes, exactly. Don't want to get her hands on my liquid cooling, she can fuck off.
Liquid cooling of dog piss.
Yeah, exactly. So, when they said it was going to come to console, I was quite chuffed. I was like, I can really get into this. When we were when we were talking on Saturday, I was looking at the description on the Xbox store, and there's a little thing in the description. Well, I say little, it's the first line of the description for Fortnite. It says, will be free to play in 2018. Which I don't understand. I don't understand how there's a game on the store that you can purchase that is announcing that in 6 months it will be free. I don't get how that's a business model at all, because anybody with half a brain will just go, well, I'll wait. Especially considering I've discovered since, or around the same time, I suppose, that we can't rent Fortnite from Boomerang Games, which is where you and I rent a few of our games from, because it has a one-time use code that you have to plug in online to make the game playable.
Yep.
So it basically has an online pass, something that not even EA do anymore.
God, yeah, the online pass that used to come in those disc cases.
Yep. And you used to buy a second-hand game, and you used to have to go online and buy another online pass for your second-hand game.
Or sometimes you got lucky and the game that you picked up was actually had a working online pass inside the case because the previous owner was a offline only player.
Yep. But
it was usually only the first ones as well that you'd go into the shop and you'd pick up that pre-owned copy that was £3 cheaper than buying the regular copy, because it was someone who'd played just the story, didn't have online access, and traded it in after realizing the story was only 30 minutes long.
Yep. So now we've got this game that they're announcing is going to be free to play sometime next year. Cool. If you think that's going to work, fine. My gripe with that is there are 4 different versions of Fortnite on the Xbox store that range from £40 to £120. Who the fuck is spending £120 on a game that is telling you on the page that you have to click buy on that it's going to be free next year? What kind of fucking mong do you have to be to do that?
No, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say it being free to play is probably going to follow the Star Wars Old Republic model, which is if you bought it, you get to play it forever at full XP gain or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
However, if you play it without paying the free-to-play model or paying for the subscription, it is free. You only level up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And if it does allow you to level up onwards, it gives you XP at 10% of the value or 1% of the value of the XP. So instead of getting your 100 XP, you only get 10 or 1 XP. So yes, it's free. However, if you bought it, and I'm assuming that if you bought it at £40, you probably still get punished in some way for not buying the £120 version.
This is where my question lies. £120?
Really? £120 and you get full XP gain for life, or until they decide to turn the servers off.
Yeah.
Pay £40 and you get 100% XP for the first 3 years or something, assuming that people play it after the third week.
Yeah, see, but this is another thing, and it goes back to the Lawbreakers thing as well. So Lawbreakers is jumping on this bandwagon that Overwatch has started, and that's great. If you think you can make money doing that, you crack on. I'm all for that.
Power to you. You found a model that works.
But £120. I don't imagine, right? Imagine a year ago or a year and a half ago, you laid down 60 quid on the limited edition of Battleborn.
Yeah.
Imagine how fucking angry you are right now about that fact.
Battleborn was the I'm not even going to go into it. We've done it before so many times that Battleborn just was... It was both rubbish and unlucky.
Yeah, it was. Definitely. But when you're trying to force your way into this market by doing things like that, not Battleborn, but like Lawbreakers and Fortnite, it's worth noting, I haven't played Fortnite yet. I'm not talking about Fortnite in a what we've been playing kind of way. I'm just having a rant because we were looking at the store and the prices were making me angry.
See, I've got friends, or rather I've got a actual friend that I know, and imaginary friends of Xbox Liveness, who own and play Fortnite. And I questioned them. I said, why are you playing Fortnite? You own Overwatch. And they said, because Overwatch is getting boring.
Okay.
Now, I'm not one to judge people, really, because I play FIFA every year, so I can't really say, you know what, and Destiny. You can't really go, oh yeah, I'm bored of Overwatch, so I'm going to play Overwatch Lite.
No.
Because I guess they are different games, and yeah, I suppose if you are bored of one, you can kind of just go, you know what, fancy something slightly different, but not entirely.
Oh yeah, I don't have many issues with that. It seems to me like the thing with Fortnite is that someone is literally standing there saying, buy this game or wait for it to be free. They're literally announcing it's going to be free at some point, and I don't... It's a business model I don't understand. I can't get my head around it. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I've not played Fortnite. Maybe it's great. Maybe it's worth £140. I doubt it. But maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't. But yeah.
Continuing on the idea of microtransactions and the whole model of things like that, I'm guessing kind of that we're on it. It's just remembered reading something today, is that FIFA points, so the FIFA fun bucks that you buy for like a 1200 pack is like $79. No, 12,000 packs. So 12,000 FIFA fun bucks is like 80 quid.
Okay.
So one of those equates to approximately a sixth of a cent at that rate. Okay?
Yeah.
So that you can understand where I'm going with this. There are currencies in the world that are worth less than that.
Yeah.
Basically, there is an imaginary currency in order to do nothing but purchase packs, not even packs of particularly decent value.
Yeah.
So basically, you've got a chance of winning a player that you may almost consider adding to your team, or just throwing in the trash. A single one of those currencies is worth more than a large portion of the world's actual money. What the fuck, internet?
Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting old, mate. Maybe I prefer, my games to be, I pays my money, I play my game. I don't want to pay any more after that. Obviously DLC and expansions and things, that's different. That's actually adding to my game.
Yep.
In various degrees of quality dependent on the game. But, usually it will be adding to my game. But I don't know. Let's talk about something else you've played, mate. Because I don't want to.
Let's go on to something slightly more positive subject, which was, for me, and I say slightly more positive in the fact that it's not even remotely positive, and I played For Honor. My God. I've had For Honor on rent from our choice game rental service, Boomerang Games, for...
Yeah.
I've had it for months.
Yeah.
Months. And it's actually got to a point where it would have been cheaper to buy For Honor and not play it. So I decided, you know what, fuck it. Instead of just cutting my losses and sending it back, throw it in the disc tray and actually play it.
Yeah.
45 minutes. That was all I managed to play for Honor. If it wasn't for the fact it had a free weekend once to download it, so I didn't even need to rent it, but I downloaded it but never got around to playing it during the free weekend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have already had it installed. It would have taken me longer to install this game than it would have been for me to get bored of playing it.
Excellent.
So, you might be wondering, why did you not enjoy playing it? I mean, clearly, maybe you just don't like that type of game. I like Dynasty Warriors games. You can't say that For Honor is not exactly my cup of tea, because I like Dynasty Warriors games and games similar to that, where you're the big badass and you've just got big waves of armies that you can just kill and they barely do any damage to you, even if it doesn't matter how many of them there are. That is essentially a big portion of For Honor's gameplay. And then you move on to the combat between you and some random motherfucker from some random other country in the world who is playing as one of the other people.
Yeah.
And considering the game's called For Honor, nobody fights with any kind of semblance of honor.
Of course they don't.
Because that's not how you win.
You play games online, mate.
You win by being the cheesiest motherfucker you can possibly be and doing nothing but walking up to people, hitting guard break, and then punching them in the face with the back end of your sword until they get to a low enough point where you do one attack and kill them.
Excellent. So it hasn't changed much from when I was beta testing it then?
No, it literally is, oh shit, if I hit this guy, he's going to counter me. I'll do a guard break because you can't counter that. Oh, he's now completely open. I'll swing. Oh look, he's now guarding again. I'll guard break. It's literally down to whoever hits the guard break first wins.
Yeah. Nah.
It's just... I just gave up on it. So I just couldn't keep playing it.
So were you playing single player or were you playing online? Or both?
Single player, and then I jumped into a single online game where I played, I think it was doubles. I think it's not called doubles, but it was doubles. It was me and one other random dude versus two random dudes.
What was the matchmaking like? How long did it take you to get into a game?
Not actually that long, but the matchmaking is heavily flawed because it's just Ubisoft's basic model of it's you versus and this guy because you're in a roughly similar server kind of location. You've both selected the European server, so you can play together versus these guys because you're also on you've selected the European server. Yeah. Even if you're not European and you just happen to select European server, because you still end up with the bastard like Americans who go, yeah, I'm going to choose the European server because that makes my ping really high and therefore people can't hurt me.
Yeah.
That'll always be in games.
Yeah, forever. It's just I have this theory because when For Honor came out, they announced seasons mode in it, and that seasons were going to refresh every 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And I got the problem was, and I said this at the time, and I think I might have even said it on the podcast. You can't plan for 2 or 3 years worth of multiplayer for a game from a company like Ubisoft who just forget about their stuff so quickly. For Honor came out and everybody moved on lightning fast, and yet they'd planned weeks and months and years of seasons for the multiplayer. I was just curious as to how well that panned out for them.
I can't say I noticed anything to do with the seasons, but I did notice that they've got extra characters because it was 3 at the start. You still can only choose one of 3 factions.
Yeah.
But you've got extra factions to then actually play characters for.
Okay. Anyone interesting in the? Because who was it originally? It was Vikings, samurais,
and knights.
Knights.
Yeah, now you get, I want to say like legionnaires. It's like just Roman soldiers.
Okay.
Basically, Rise, son of Rome,
Okay, fair enough.
in Ubisoft form.
Yeah.
And shinobi.
Okay.
So it's kind of more being as racist as possible. Basically, just more samurai.
Fair enough. So no, like cavemen.
No, nothing exciting. It's just more disciplined knights and more just quick-based, speedy, lack of low defense style.
Yeah.
Others.
Yeah, that's kind of, when I was beta testing it. Apparently, everybody just wanted to play as samurai because they beat the fuck out of you with samurai, and that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want to be a Viking. Vikings are cool.
Vikings are cool, but for some reason they've made.
Team.
Yeah. Fuck you. But Vikings are cool, but they made them slow and non-barbaric, which is like the opposite. They're basically they just made everyone be the same.
Yeah.
And instead of having like a rock paper scissors method, which would really work out really nicely for this game, they've thrown in let's just have these guys and these guys and these guys all be roughly the same, but we'll make these guys quicker.
Yeah.
But these guys have more armor. Rather than having Vikings beat knights and knights beat samurai and samurai beat Vikings.
Yeah. That's a shame. It could have been good, and I really wanted it to be good because I really love the guy that developed it. But
yeah,
that's a shame.
they planned seasons kind of like how thinking, based off the hype of Rainbow Six Siege, then we can just go for seasons because Siege is going on for fucking strong.
Yeah.
There are. Last time I looked, there are more people playing Siege now than there were on release.
Yeah.
So,
it got really good word of mouth. Plus, it's got that Counter-Strike ESL thing going for it, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, there's a pretty decent esports following to it, and it's got its own like competitions and shit like that, and clans and teams playing together, and a pretty decent online community.
Yeah.
It's not like most other games where you play a game online and you kill a dude and he just then sends you spam messages saying, I fucked your mum, you're shit, your parents are dead, your sister's a whore.
Well,
your brother raped you when you were a baby and shit like that.
Yeah. Clearly the dude's been through my family history.
Yep. Well, someone has to.
Yeah.
So yeah, For Honor was basically a massive waste of time, money, and I'm really disappointed that I even considered keeping it for that long. And I'm really annoyed with myself with the fact that it still exists inside my flat and it's not in the post already back to Boomerang, where I can get the next game. Well,
I mean, you're not the only one that's done that. As some people will have noticed, at least 15 people I think noticed. I put out a tweet last week on the Character Unlock Twitter feed with a poll so people could decide what I should be playing, because as per usual I'm a completely indecisive dickhead. I just I just look at, I do it with films as well. You look at the pile and go, I've got loads to watch, I've got nothing to watch.
This is why you get a dartboard and just throw darts at at them and go, yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah. Or I put out a Twitter poll, and so a day before the Twitter poll ended, it really looked like the choices were finish fucking Prey, because another game that I started and then didn't finish.
Shit.
Continue on with my flagging Destiny career, and play Bloodborne, or suggest something else, which no one did.
No, that's a lie. Your wife suggested something else.
My wife suggested do housework. That's not a game. Nor is it fun.
If you have a Nintendo system.
Well, yeah, I'm a grown-up.
You get Cooking Mama. There we go.
No.
That's technically housework in video game format.
I cook anyway. Why would I want a game where I do what I do normally?
Also, Job Simulator. I'm pretty sure there's
Exactly. This is literally like buying IT Technician the game. I'm good. That's what I do all fucking day. Imagine a game where all you do is Google the problem.
So that is just my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the moment, I play a lot of games where I end up Googling the problem because it's like it doesn't give you the information you need in the game. It's like, oh, well, fucking, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Oh, they could have explained that one.
Yeah. So this Twitter poll went out, and you know, a day before it was due to finish, it really looked like I was going to be playing Bloodborne, something that I instantly regretted putting on that poll because I really don't want to start Bloodborne. Hilariously, because Bloodborne I've had for 3 months sitting on the side by my PlayStation, and it's a rental. The amount it's cost me to rent it, I could have bought the Game of the Year edition.
Yep.
And still had change.
Yes.
So, yeah. So anyway, so I installed Bloodborne, and then I ended up, it got to the end of the poll, and the consensus was finish Prey. So do you know what I did?
Did you finish Prey?
I played Destiny.
That's because Destiny's clearly the better game.
No, it's debatable.
Destiny is the better experience to play with me than Prey is on your own.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Prey. I just, even when I was, the decision was made for me, I looked at it and went, I can't be arsed.
Prey would have been alright to play if you were in a party with me and I could listen to you squealing at the shit that's going on the screen.
Well, this is kind of the problem I've got with Prey, and it's not the fact that it's a bad game, because it's not, but the problem was I thought it was a horror game, and it's not. So I kind of, my expectations were completely different to what I actually got, and now I'm just disappointed. But yeah, I ended up not playing Prey, but it will probably be, maybe, if I get any time, I might play it and try and finish it. I only got a couple of weeks to Agents of Mayhem, and I'm really looking forward to Agents of Mayhem. But yeah, the only other game I played since the last podcast was I finally dug in and played episode 2 of Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Yay!
I can confirm 2 things now that I've played episode 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy. It definitely, 100%, for sure, no doubt, is nothing to do with the films. Like, at all. I was pretty sure by the end of episode 1, but I said to you on the episode when we talked about it, it may just be waiting for something. It might just be, something might happen in episode 2 now that we've got story going on. No. It's got nothing to do with the films. I can also tell you for sure, 100%, definitely, no doubt, that it's shit. Oh, dude, I was so bored. And
wow.
It's not as bad as Game of Thrones, but it is one of the worst Telltale experiences yet for me. The comedy isn't funny. It just hits flat every time. The story is boring. The decisions you make feel like they mean absolutely nothing. No, it's rubbish. And the problem is I spent money on this fucking thing.
Yes, you did.
Now I have to finish playing it.
Oh, you bought the season pass?
I did, yes.
Yeah, that's probably your mistake.
I bought that and Batman at the same time.
Okay.
And Batman was quite good. I quite liked Batman.
Batman was good. Batman was good.
But
looking forward to Batman Part 2.
Well, yeah, so this kind of rolls on to, I suppose we lied really. There was news from last week, kind of, wasn't there? And that was Telltale announced a few games at Comic-Con last year. True. Last year?
Last month.
Last week? Last month? Most definitely not last year. Well, they probably might have done last year.
They probably did announce stuff last year, yeah.
They probably announced Guardians of the Galaxy, the bastards. So this year, this time around, they announced that we're going to get a new Batman called The Enemy Within, which looks interesting. Just more Batman. I really, really, really liked Batman, the Telltale series, so I will, I'm in for that. I thought it was quite good.
Looking forward to the progression of John.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there are a couple of interesting characters in the Batman series that I'm looking forward to seeing how they move on.
You want to know what I'm really hoping for? I'm really hoping that John isn't actually the Joker.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I think that would be the best possible that could be the best possible twist to that story would be. Although people would be expecting it. I mean, I clearly am expecting it.
Yeah.
Because it's too obvious for him to become the Joker.
Yeah. It does seem kind of a not very Telltale thing to do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. But they also announced another Walking Dead season. But they did announce that it was going to be the last one.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Spoiler alert, Clementine's definitely dying.
Yeah. How old's Clementine now?
I don't know, 63?
Probably. So, she was like 7 or something in the first game, and then like 14 or whatever the fuck in 2.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Season 1, and I really liked Season 1, but I didn't like it enough to go back and play it again, so I don't really remember. Season 2 was binned within half an hour of me starting, and I never played the extra ones.
Yeah.
Or Season 3. So, Walking Dead, I guess once the last one is done, they will probably release a complete edition with all of them on disc.
Probably.
I would consider picking that up in the sale and just going through the whole lot. But until then, I'm not interested. But of course, and this was the big one, finally announced that we're getting a second season of The Wolf Among Us.
And
that I'm very excited about.
Yeah. Very, 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 very.
And the next time it goes on sale, I might pick up The Wolf Among Us on the Xbox to go through it again. That was a very cool game. I liked it a lot.
I loved The Wolf Among Us so much. It was actually one of the few games I've actually fully got all the achievements for. I played it through twice just so I could get all those other story bits.
Yeah, you had to go back. It wasn't like all the other Telltale games where you could just do the game and you get the achievements. You actually had to do things in the
only downside to The Wolf Among Us having to play through twice was that I made those choices that I made based on the fact that that's the choice that I wanted to make at the time, because that's what I thought that Bigby would do at the time.
Yeah.
Going through and making the opposite choice for some of those to get the achievement kind of felt wrong.
Yeah, I feel the same kind of way about games like Dishonored, where you have a good and a bad playthrough, and you pick the way you want to play in your first one, and then to go against how you would usually play or how you would act in real life just kind of it always feels a bit weird.
Yeah.
Which is why actually last time when I'd done Dishonored 2, I started off with my lethal playthrough and ran through it. Literally, I didn't do any achievements, I didn't do nothing, I just ran through with my bad playthrough, just killed everybody and got to the end of the game, and then sat and enjoyed my my non-lethal playthrough. And if we have achievements like that again for The Wolf Among Us 2, I'll probably do it that way around, just so it ends on a high note for me instead of ends on me going, oh, for fuck's sake, really?
It's similar with Infamous, where they gave you a playthrough as good guy, playthrough as bad guy.
Yeah.
Or good karma, bad karma, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was karma in Infamous, wasn't it?
Yeah. And playing through on good karma was made the final boss that much easier on the higher difficulties.
Yep.
Because healing.
Yep.
Versus the Mass Effect original trilogy, the Shepard trilogy, where it was a good cop, bad cop, space cop, basically, and it didn't make a difference to The only difference it made was how you played how you perceived the character of Shepard in the role playing aspect, but it didn't make a difference to the overall decisions that you were making in the story. If you were being the bad guy, you knew what you were doing. If you're playing as the good guy, you knew what you were doing, but you didn't have to go through again and play the opposite because it didn't give you any difference.
No.
The choices that you make that would made differences were, well, picking whether characters were which characters were alive.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be good or bad to decide that. And it didn't say, oh, keep this guy alive and then get an achievement for keeping the other guy alive.
No.
Because whichever one you chose to keep alive was usually the one that you wanted to keep alive every time, regardless of how you're playing it. Male, female, good, bad, lesbian, straight.
Yeah. I think that's the kind of difference, though, isn't it? Because like with Mass Effect, it's a proper full-on RPG, whereas games like Dishonored or Deus Ex or Infamous, while they might be open or semi-open world, they're still relatively linear.
Yeah.
So you have a set path, and no matter what you want to do, in 2 hours you will be killing somebody, or in 3 hours you'll be running away from somebody. It hasn't got that RPG element to it.
But they add choices for the sake of adding choices for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or in the case of, and main reason I'm really pissed off with Deus Ex, the latest one, was giving you a choice that if you select one of them, you're guaranteed to get an alert. And if you're playing on a playthrough where you're trying to get no alerts, it's forcing you to make the other choice.
Yeah, I do.
But discovering it after the second playthrough of trying to do that one mission and finding out afterwards.
Yeah, see, Deus Ex done that previously, didn't it? With Human Revolution. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
previous one, wasn't it? So when you had the opportunity to go and get your chip changed.
Yeah.
And if you did that, you pretty much fucked the rest of your playthrough.
Yeah.
There was no two ways about it, because it fucked you. Completely fucked you. I was kind of glad that I went, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I had a really good experience with Human Revolution just because I made the decision not to do that. Out of blind luck, it didn't ruin my fucking game.
Yeah, but that was really brilliantly done, though, because it was the whole, there's loads of glitches, and it's like, if you get this chip, all the glitches will stop, and it's like, okay, maybe it's a good idea. Do you know why I didn't go and get the glitch, the fix, the chip? I forgot. Straight up, I was literally just wandering through, and I remember seeing the notification to go change to get the chip change.
Yeah.
In it, and I was just like, oh cool, yeah, I'll do that after I do this mission first. Did a mission, did another one quick side quest, and then went to the thing, and it said, this is the point of no return. You can't go back once you leave. I was like, yeah, that's fine, I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And then after pressing that, I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to change the glitchy chip thing for the good one.
Yeah.
And then later found out that when the final boss pushed the button, it was like, oh,
yeah,
cool. Didn't fuck myself over.
No. And again, the thing with Mankind Divided was I got lucky because I didn't get any alerts up to the end. I fucked myself at the end because I got frustrated with the boss fight and ended up just blowing him up. But yeah, it was. I quite like games like Dishonored. I know you don't like them, but Dishonored's system. It's karma or whatever a chaos system is called in Dishonored. Actually, I really like, and it's not because it's not just. Well, it is binary. It's good or bad, but the entire world changes depending on what you do. So, and down to little things as well. What was really cool, and obviously it's Dishonored 2, so I won't spoil it, and I obviously won't go into great detail because I talked about it the other week, and I don't want to talk about it again, really. But you have one guy where the non-lethal option is to basically make him a complete imbecile. You grab him and you stick him in this thing, and he goes from being a genius to a complete imbecile in 2 minutes, and that's your non-lethal takedown, because now he's not this evil genius. He can't invent things that kill everybody.
He can barely tie his shoelaces.
Exactly. Now
He could barely drool out of his mouth and get the drool to hit the floor.
exactly. Now 6 hours later, 10 hours later, depending on how long it took you to play and how much dicking around you did, I was wandering around another mission, and I'm in a little cubby hole trying to sneak in somewhere else, and there's a book in there, and the lore with Dishonored is amazing, and someone has spent easily months putting this lore together and writing little excerpts to put in books for you to collect. You don't get achievements for it, nothing. It's just a joy to read. And I ended up in this little cubby hole, and there was a book, and I picked it up, and I was reading about how the world changed because suddenly this evil genius was no longer a genius. I was like, oh, I done that. That was fucking awesome. But what I want to do now is I want to go through and just kill him and see what happens. I want to see what happens to that story. I want to see if that book changes. Because literally the entire world, the code throughout the entire game is changed dependent on what you do. And that is the kind of good and bad system I like.
Yeah, it's kind of more. It's like if you play through that ideal and have like a time travel mechanic type game where it's you go back in time and you change this one simple little detail here, and suddenly this guy didn't then fall into a puddle and then realize that he wanted to create waterproof shoes.
Yeah.
And therefore, from now on, there's no waterproof shoes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Which Dishonored 2 actually has a thing, a little section that does that. You really need to play Dishonored.
I do. It's on my radar. Problem is I played the first one. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun for me.
No. I mean, number 2 is literally it's more of the same. So if you didn't enjoy 1, you probably won't enjoy 2. So it's pointless.
It's entirely possible I hit Dishonored at a time when I was at a gaming funk, but
the problem with it is it's not a game you can run through quickly, even if you want to, because it's so the world is so convoluted. Once you know it, like literally, I could sit I could sit in a party with you and talk you through it, and you could finish it in about 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
But if you even considered exploring another little, well, what happens if I go left here? The world is so big, and there are so many options, especially when it comes to killing or not killing people. I think it's a wonderful little world to spend time in, and I'm really looking forward to, because it's only a couple of weeks or a few weeks till the expansion, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know all about convoluted and huge open world areas and massive games that you can. It's like first playthrough 60 hours.
Yeah.
And then for me now, Mass Effect is every playthrough is less than 10.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what I'm doing and where I'm going at all times.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it anymore. I could probably find my way around most of the galaxy map with my eyes fucking closed.
Yeah.
Just know exactly where individually, how long I have to hold the thumbstick to the right and down to find a galaxy cluster and then move to the right star system.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. I will sing Dishonored's praises to absolutely everybody. So, I am looking forward to spending more time playing that. But why are we talking about Dishonored? I was talking about The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah. And even then, that was only a brief news on the what you were playing this week.
But it's only because
Prey.
Literally, my Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series episode 2. My entire thing to say about it was it's crap, and if it wasn't for the fact that I have OCD and would hate to have something on my machine that's not finished, I would probably ignore it if I could. But I think that's all the games I've been playing, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one more to drop in, and this is going to be a very quick mention, I hope.
Go on.
But it's got a nice little story of complete and utter annoyance and hilarity, which was this weekend I played Titanfall 2, the little new Horde mode of Frontier Defense.
Oh yeah.
So when me and Brooker planned out a nice little evening of Saturday gaming, and we were thinking, what should we play? What have we both got that we can both play at the same time together? And it turned out to be Destiny. Before that, however, we decided, you know what? Let's check the EA Access Vault. See if Titanfall 2's gone up, because the new game mode's available. Fuck it, let's see if we can play it.
Yeah. Remembering 2 weeks ago on the podcast, we had spoken about Titanfall 2 going into the vault by the end of the month.
Yes. So, after Saturday of not being able to play Titanfall with Brooker, I decided on Sunday to play with my buddy Dunny before he went off to work to fire up Titanfall 2, because fuck it, I really wanted to play Titanfall 2, but after talking about it so much, and it's still big game of the year for me.
Yeah.
So fired it up, put it on, and in the top right hand corner of the firing it up, I see a notification saying Titanfall 2 free this weekend for Frontier Defense.
Excellent.
So after all that, and realising we couldn't play it together because Titanfall 2 wasn't available to play on EA Access, so we decided against playing it. I then played it less than 20 hours later, and it was actually free the entire time if you were playing Frontier Defense.
Yeah.
Which was the game mode we actually probably would have ended up playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Frontier Defense is exactly what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It's literally, you start the game off and you get initial wave. It's you and 3 allies that you pick up. So you sort your class out. At the moment, I'm running around with the 201 assault rifle.
Yeah.
And a grappling hook as
Cool.
my thing, and typical grenade setup and the charge beam to shoot Titans.
Yeah.
First wave is a fuck ton of grunts, and I mean a fuck ton. I'm talking like 100 plus grunts. It actually comes up on the right hand side of the screen what's in each wave, and it's like 100 grunts, 30 specters or so, and maybe a Titan at the end.
Yeah.
And then at the end of wave 1, you get access to the armory, so you can then buy extra defense stuff. So you can get amped weapons, you can get arc mines that just sit permanently and damage Titans and Spectres and Reapers as they come through.
Yeah.
You can get a turret, a couple of other things, basic, and you spend cash that you earn through doing the waves after killing enemies, and you get bonus cash at the end for completing the wave, for not dying, for being the MVP, and for you get an extra load more for no one in the team dying.
Okay.
Which in wave 1, pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Then wave 2 happens and you get access to your Titans, and suddenly the number of grunts drops down to less than 20. The number of Spectres jumps up, the number of Reapers jumps up, and suddenly you're up against 5 Titans instead of 1.
Oh, excellent.
Wave 3, you end up with like 20 plus Titans, 20 plus like 40 plus Reapers, and like only maybe 10, 15 Spectres. But they then split the Titans down into different classes, so you end up with Nuke Titans, Mortar Titans, Arc Titans, regular Titans. And then by the end of wave 5, you're up against like 100 enemies, and 70 of them are Titans.
Bloody hell.
It gets very fucking insane very fucking quickly.
Excellent. So it's it's finally gone onto the vault now, so I have it installed and ready to go. I just now need to find some time to play.
Yeah, and then to the end of the story is literally just that we happen to see that on Monday, so the last day of the month, right after me and Brooke had completely finished with any time to play together, Titanfall 2 is now free at the EA Access Vault.
Because life is just that much of a bitch.
Yep.
If that's your biggest problem, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah.
But still, it's a pain in the fucking ass.
all that complaining and whining and trying to play together this weekend to play a game that we both really wanted to play. I mean, we both ended up really enjoying playing Destiny together.
Yeah.
But the fact that Titanfall 2 was a possibility the entire time, and then they held off. They made it free for a weekend to play Frontier Defense, and then just made it free completely as soon as the free play weekend ends.
Yeah.
It's just just complete and utter EA in a nutshell.
Oh, it's 100% marketing nonsense. It's what it's for. Because very quickly, so Monday, Titanfall 2 became available on the Vault. Tuesday, the Titanfall 2 Ultimate Bundle was available to buy on Xbox One, which is, I don't know, it's a load of camos and things for your guns or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't much care. I got it for free. Well, I got it in my EA Access thing, so
Yep.
I'll stick with that. Yeah, fucking. But it was good. It's worth playing.
Worth playing, worth downloading. It's essentially free, but it's something like that. I mean, it's not an issue in the slightest. And the fact that stuff's free is brilliant, but it's things like that are the reason to why, for some reason, EA were being voted as like the worst company in the world.
Yeah.
Was because fans of other companies were like, oh yeah, EA's terrible because they'll give you this for free but won't tell you about it, and then once the free weekend's over they'll actually give you the game for free completely, because but not until enough of the days pass through. Because I mean, I didn't know that Titanfall 2 was free, otherwise we'd have played it.
Yeah.
And then throughout the entirety of Monday, so between the free day ending at midnight on Sunday to 6 p.m. on Monday when Titanfall 2 went free on the Vault, people would have paid whatever the money was, because they'd have gone, oh yeah, Titanfall 2 was great. I love playing Frontier Defense. I'm going to buy the game when it goes live tomorrow.
Yeah.
Boom. They buy the game, and then within 4 hours, it's free.
Yeah.
But there's a reason to why Microsoft has the self-service.
Yes.
It's like, you've just spent all that
45
money.
quid buying a game that then went free an hour later.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's why But it's not like it's a problem because EA Access is only available on Microsoft.
Yeah.
So Microsoft having the self-service refunds, problem solved. You just refund your 40 notes and got a game for free at the end of it.
Yeah.
If you've got EA Access.
Yeah. So yeah. Annoying, but yeah, can't moan too much. I've got it installed now. So.
Now you can play Frontier Defense, which is a lot of fun. And again, if you have a moment to spare to play, shoot me a message. I'll do everything I can to play Titanfall 2 with you.
Yeah, man. Will be good.
And anyone else who's listening, if they want to play Titanfall 2, I'm more than happy to drop everything and play it. I love it.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun actually. When I played it when it first came out, I spent a bit of time in the multiplayer and really, really quite liked it. Yeah. Is that us done?
Yep, that's us done. Just recommendations. Yeah.
Cool. You got a recommendation then, mate?
Yeah, strangely enough, I'm going to recommend Titanfall 2.
Cool.
Currently free in the EA Access Vault.
Cool. I will recommend from yesterday, so from Tuesday. Obviously, yesterday was the 1st of August, so all the new PS Plus and Games for Gold stuff started rolling around, and one of the best games about a man running around in a dressing gown killing people is now free on PlayStation Plus. It's what was an expansion to Black Flag and is now a standalone small game. Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry is available for free on PS4 and is very good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that expansion, and it was not worth the Assassin's Creed Black Flag season pass to get that one bit of story DLC.
No, but I mean, as per the way as it always was, I bought the season pass for Assassin's Creed when I bought the game, so I got it anyway. But that was on PS3 because I bought Black Flag on PS3. So I'll run through it again. I liked Freedom Cry, was really good actually. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Black Flag as a whole was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I actually convinced the guy I sit next to at work that Black Flag was probably the best of the Assassin's Creed games.
That and Syndicate probably fight it out for me. I really liked Syndicate.
I loved Syndicate, but it wasn't Black Flag. As fun as Evie was to play with, Jacob was not cool enough to meet Kenway.
Fair enough. But I think that's us more or less done. One last bit of business, I suppose, before we go. I suppose we could have said this bit in the news, really, because it is kind of news, although it's not gaming news, it's us news. So this will be the last episode of Character Unlock that is going to be on the Failed Critics podcast feed. Hopefully. Depends on how quickly I pull my finger out of my ass and actually get on with some work. But I'm hoping that by the time this episode goes up, or very soon after, your podcast app of choice will have a Character Unlock feed available for you to subscribe to. So obviously I know a lot of the people that listen to us are also Failed Critics fans. That's great. Please feel free to follow us over to Character Unlock on iTunes and Google and all that kind of good stuff. And it's not that there's nothing wrong. We've not fallen out with the Failed Critics guys. We're still with them. I still write and podcast for them a lot. It's just we're taking over a lot of their feed, and this became apparent very quickly over E3 when we broke the Failed Critics feed by spamming it with our shit.
Yay!
So this isn't a failed experiment. The experiment that was Character Unlock seems to be going well. Where we counted it up today, including our E3 stuff. We're on 30 episodes. We've been going for almost a year. So about time we up and start doing stuff on our own. So the plan will be, like I say, hopefully, will be to edit this podcast, get it sent off to Mr. Hughes so he can put it up on Failed Critics, and hopefully, let's say by the end of the weekend, there will be an iTunes and hopefully Google Play feed for Character Unlock with all of our previous episodes on, and then from there on, our new episodes will only appear on there, with a little bit of luck and a fair amount of work.
Here's hoping that some of the people who listen to us actually listen right the way to the end to get this kind of information, rather than just going, oh, Character Unlock stopped showing up on the Failed Critics feed.
Well, I will for sure be spamming the Twitter and Facebook feeds once the feed is up. There are a few things that we can do with the podcast supply or the podcast host that we've chosen, so we can stream directly through Facebook. I don't know what a video podcast is, but apparently we have the ability to do that. I'm sure that's just a YouTube video, but I don't know.
A vodcast.
I'm not calling it that.
I will.
I'm just not. No, you won't.
Every time you say video podcast, I'm going to repeat with vodcast.
And every time you do that, I'm going to edit over the word vodcast with something really, really offensive.
Okay.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be something really bad. Like, you'll actually regret ever saying vodcast.
And now you've said vodcast, so fuck you.
I will find something, damn it. But yeah, that will be. It's completely bizarre because obviously we do this for fun. We don't get paid for this. We have actual jobs. We do this because it's a laugh and it's good to chat games with your mates, and it's awesome. But it's still a little bit kind of nerve-wracking putting all this stuff together. Like, I've been working on it for the last few days, getting everything ready, and just the more I think about it, the more I think things could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
The day we discover that no one actually likes us.
Well, yeah, this is true. So
we get sad and we end up not leaving the house or something.
Yeah. And podcasting more.
About other things, completely irrelevant. Not even video games, like washing powder and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Is that what you want, people out there?
So yeah, I obviously plans in the future will be, if people want to suggest things we should be doing, please go ahead. We may not listen to you, but if it's a good idea, we might. We'll see. All up in the air a bit. Phase 1 is our own podcast feed. Phase 2 will be figuring out things from there. So hopefully, if we're really lucky and I've got the energy and the inclination, the next episode will be on the Character Unlock podcast feed.
Woo!
Until that fateful day, my friend, where can people find you between now and the next episode?
People can find me on Twitter as... Sorry.
Did you forget your Twitter handle for a second there?
No, I just started choking on thin air.
Okay.
It's the John_CU, and on Xbox Live as Long Dong Silver.
Cool. You can find me as always on Twitter. I'm at Booker411, and yeah, writing and podcasting still with Fail Critics. I think I will be forever. Yeah, and you can find us at we're Character Unlocked. We're on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram, all at Character Unlock. So we're pretty easy to find if you want to find us. And if you don't want to find us in any of those places, we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode. Well, I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Stuff.
Hopefully something will have fucking happened that we can talk about.
Hopefully games. Hopefully games will have happened.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Alright, I think that's us done then, mate. Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.
Okay, yeah, so no news, we'll just crack on into it. Who's hosting today?
I think it's your turn. Or it's Maya's turn, apparently.
Okay, apparently it's Maya's go. Are you all done? Fucking hell. Are all your teeth still in after that? Have you still got all your teeth after that?
Is there a hole in the wall now?
Are you still making a cake? Have you just sneezed all over someone's cake?